Pisces women are some of the most polarizing people around because not only are they capable of providing this unparalleled, life-changing level of love and providing this really almost spiritual bond with a partner, they're also capable of causing tremendous and dumbfounding heartbreak, the kind of pain and heartbreak that completely catches you off guard and leaves you feeling like you just got tackled by a cloud and you can't even understand what happened. So what's the deal with that? Pisces is a water sign, yes, and they are empathetic. They're sensitive to other people's emotions. They're naturally empathic, but they're also just really tapped into a lot of different things going on around them. People's moods, almost just invisible things in the air, right? Kind of move the Pisces women to and fro, and she really needs space in order to kind of feel all of that. That's really her essence. It's fairy tale-like, it's dream-like, but the more that you try to box it in or control it, the more that you actually repel that energy, right? And repel her love away. See, most people immediately upon meeting a Pisces woman notice her gentleness and her care and her empathy and her sensitivity and care for people around her. It's just kind of a natural mode of being. And a lot of people mistake that for the Pisces woman being in love with them or coming on to them. That's not necessarily true. Pisces women are almost magical, right? They're really in touch with the subconscious, with the hidden realms. Just because they are sort of ephemeral and changeable and mutable, it doesn't mean that they don't have a very strong identity or a strong, very distinct essence, right? It just means that their journey requires more movement. They're a little bit like an electron. You never quite know where they're going to be, but there's a domain, and they need time to explore, and they need time to process. And that's where their gifts of intelligence come from, their gifts of wisdom, of imagination. They tend to be very poetic souls. They can be artists or just, appreciate those more changeable themes rather than rigid concepts or standard conceptions of morality or social norms. They have an intelligence that's really their own. And those that are attracted to or want to pursue a relationship with a Pisces need to appreciate that genius. The problem is a lot of times Pisces women will attract people that really need that gentleness and that sympathy and that adaptability to them because it makes them feel strong, it makes them feel important, it makes them feel seen. And so they expect Pisces to always be that person, and they want to bend Pisces to be their ideal. They want to change them, and they do exactly what you shouldn't. They place expectations and roles on them. The problem is sometimes that unevolved Pisces women have a hard time setting boundaries or being direct, that's not okay. And so a Pisces woman, sometimes instead of moving away from that situation or just not getting involved, they will shut down or they will, self-sacrifice and remain physically present but emotionally and mentally checked out or in a different realm. And they can be good at playing one of the parts while the other parts are kind of, going off and exploring and escaping, a feeling of being trapped. Then suddenly a Pisces does something or, they go in another direction, they fall in love with someone else and it feels so jarring and it catches the other person off guard. But really these situations where people get hurt by Pisces women is really just a matter of bad communication, mismatched wants, or just immature individuals involved that aren't really seeing the other people for what they really are. If someone can truly appreciate Pisces' dreaminess, their need to kind of explore and roam, and understand that Pisces view relationships not in terms of contracts and obligations, but more in terms of continually cultivating love and romance, spiritual connection and soul connection, and, can really prioritize a relationship where there's a radical emotional honesty and an environment where both people can grow as souls, both together but also separately. That's going to be incredible for a Pisces, and she's going to be the most devoted and most loving partner. You just have to understand it's not always going to be about you, right? Pisces is going to have different kind of relationships. They're going to be devoted and fulfilled by hobbies and pursuits, and they're going to have strong friendships, and there's going to be moments of intimacy in other parts of her life sometimes that don't involve you, and you can't be insecure about that. You have to be okay, and you have to look at life in a sort of a similar manner.